So this was my first 100, and I don't think it's a good starter 100. I'll put it that way. It's a difficult race, and when you couple the fact that there's all this technical terrain with the heat that we got that day, especially on Sunday, it got up to about 90 degrees. And frankly, that ice bandana I was wearing was a sheer lifesaver. I think I really would have suffered had I not had that, because we had been having a really cool spring, and then this race rolls around in May, and it's hot that weekend, and there are parts of that trail that are somewhat exposed on mountainsides and what have you, and it's just, like I said, it got hot. Conditions were not that bad overall. You'll see it rained, and it rained kind of heavily with some high winds for a while, but that moved through, and I don't think it was really a factor in the race. However, the heat definitely was. So in the video that you're about to see, there's not a lot of coverage of the really technical sections of MMT100, and you're going to see a lot of video with some pretty benign trail conditions. Basically, this is because I had poles with me, and I couldn't do both video and use the poles at the same time. And I felt like I needed the poles on good chunks of the course, which were really rocky and technical. And then, most of what you are going to see was done in the road sections or rolling into aid stations, or in parts of the trail where I felt comfortable in filming myself and that I wasn't going to fall on something. All right, so this is my bag loadout for MMT for the aid stations. We've got 10 aid stations that you can keep a bag at, and 15 aid stations all total. The big one in the lower right has got shoes, coffee, socks in it for after a really wet section of the course. Other stuff, I've got like a waist lamp at one point. It's for my Shawl Gap aid station, and then I intend on leaving that in one of the drop bags when I'm done with it. I had a base loadout, and then for really long sections I've added additional food where necessary, and it's a mix of waffles, nut butters, gels, a lot of stuff from Hammer. I've got some yogurt in there, squeezable yogurt, some fruit, squeezable fruit with electrolytes, that kind of stuff. All right, here we are at the start. Ready to go, Jamie?
Let's go!
Let's go. And then my friend from Maryland here.
Oh no, I'm dropping things. Sorry. I'm all in the video.
Charlie.
They stayed back and sleep this morning.
Okay, about an hour in, 5-point-some miles covered. The sun has come up. Sure thing. Oh, tired of me already. We just got done with the first small climb, but now we're up on the ridge into stuff that is occasionally runnable.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, it looks like we're coming into the second aid station. So I'm at about 12 miles in. Just came out of the second aid station. I think Jamie, well, not I think, she has gone ahead. I kind of suspected that this is the way it was going to be. I've met some nice people so far on the trail, and No complaints. Weather is still cool at this point. I'm guessing it's in its low 60s probably. So it's supposed to go up to 85 or so today. That's going to be warm. I'm not used to it. Weather's been so cool this spring. I haven't had any hot runs yet. So these sections up here, I've just kind of given up on running almost. Very few of them, very few runnable sections, lots of hidden rocks. So just resigned myself to eat a little bit and settle in. Looks like I'm about 3 hours and 41 minutes in, and about 15 miles ticked off. So I'm at about 17 miles. Decided to slow it down a little. Reasons being, terrain has been really rocky. Lots of ankle turning opportunities. In fact, I've rolled my ankle multiple times. Sometimes through I thought I'd hurt myself, but ankles are pretty good. So, but I was running the downhills a little too aggressively, so slow it down. Yeah, I don't feel too bad. Like I said, I'm going to take the opportunity to eat a little bit and get caught up on food while I'm going slow.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, there's the view. Just about to come into Woodstock Tower. I think this is they do the hang gliding. 133. 133. Yep, thank you. Today's Station 3, Woodstock Tower. So I'm just out of Woodstock. Had a little quesadilla, hummus wrap, some orange, an Oreo cookie, and refilled all my liquids. Put some ice in my ice bandana, and I gotta tell you, this thing is cold when there's ice in it, so it'd be a real advantage here as the day heats up. It's supposed to go up into the mid-80s. So just got out of Powell's Fort. Had some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, potato chips, M&Ms, watermelon, and Coke. And filled up the water bottles, filled up the ice bandana, which has been nice today. Now it's hot and we're exposed here. I'm on the road for a little bit. There's so maybe a mile out of Powell's Fort, there's Silas up ahead of me. He is the tip of the Amish spear in Virginia. He, his brother and his sister sometimes show up for these races. He's been at probably 3 other races I've done this year, so he's out there. So this guy that just passed me, he's just carrying a handheld water bottle, and told me he was a minimalist, but he said he's picking up his gear at the next aid station. But still, man, it's a warm day for one bottle. So we're up here on our way to, I think, Elizabeth Furnace and Ice Lake over there, or maybe a reservoir, it looks like. Looks man-made. And I think we are ascending off the ridge into Catherine's Furnace. Who knows, maybe there's another, I don't know, ridge to climb or something, or mountain to climb, but I think we're headed down and finally got some shade. I've been sitting out baking in the sun. It's around noon. Well, actually it's afternoon now, but most intense parts were on a road that was kind of exposed. So it's hot, but I'm feeling okay at the moment. A little over 30 miles in. Wow, look at this.
Do you want anything to go?
Just came out of Elizabeth's furnace, all fueled up. Saw Heather in there. Let me tell you, that aid station was the shit. Basically took my bandana, filled it with ice, both my bottles for me, filled them up, and then gave me my drop bag too. So no complaints whatsoever. Really good. I was in and out of there pretty quickly. So coming up on mile 40, about a mile and a half out of Veach Gap aid station. That is a mile and a half to go. Just saw a couple of butterflies, some sort of mating ritual. And we had a little shaded section back there. Now we're back in the sun. It has been hot, but that little shaded section and the butterflies, good for my mood. Feeling all right at the moment. Oh, and message to my future self. After around mile 40, you get this runnable section here. It's a double track. After just climbing over rocks, kicking rocks. It's so nice to run for a little bit. Yeah.
AFK 50.
We jumped
Okay.
in pretty quick.
Oh,
Because Matt, you just ran one marathon in the 50, right? Or two.
Just one.
yeah. All right, coming into Veach Gap. Only 3 miles-ish from the previous aid station. Feeling all right. It looks like some weather is moving in. All right, so about 43 miles in. I've been running 12 hours or so, and it's raining. I thought this was going to be just a short little brief severe downpour, but it's been raining about half an hour so far. If it keeps up, I'm gonna suit up with my long shirt and my wool hat. So I should point out that the dogwood is blooming up here. It's quite pretty. It's all over the place. All right, I'm about 47 miles in, on my way to Habron, a few miles out from it. And just finished going down this gnarly downhill section. Here it's runnable, but I'm a bit tapped out. Really sapped my energy coming down the side of that mountain. It was all off camber, huge rocks, climbing over boulders. So yeah, this may be a low point. That is coming into the halfway point. It's difficult. Yeah, this is the shizzle that I'm dealing with into Habron. Not fun. So just went through a super steep downhill section. Hamstring was bothering me on that, as well as just below my left knee. Oh, I hope we don't have a lot more terrain like that. It's really difficult, really. So just got out of Indian Grave aid station. So all that stuff I said about Habron, I forgot. Indian Grave is first. So I had, I don't know. I was starving coming in there and feeling a bit depleted, so I had 4 slices of pizza, 3 pierogies, lots of ginger ale. Anyway, I'm feeling a little better now, so I needed some food. There's going to be more at Habron. It's just up the road here a little bit. Right now I'm on a dirt road, so probably the easiest terrain of the entire race right here. But man, coming into Indian Grave, there was some steep, gnarly sections. Oh. So it's about 8 p.m. Sun's starting to go down. About 3 miles out of Habron. It's a gorgeous view. Okay. You can see it's pretty dark. Estimate it's probably 10 p.m. Saturday night. And I'm going up whatever the huge mother climb is out of Habron. And it was pretty steep earlier. There were some people I thought were going to catch up to me, but I haven't seen them in a long time. So anyway, my strategy here is just to walk the nighttime section, because I frankly know how easy it is to fall over something, especially in the dark. So I'm just going to keep it safe and keep it easy. I'm well ahead of cutoff, but I don't think I'm going to make the 11 a.m. checkout. Yeah, I ran into Rob. Met a couple nice guys on this. Randy works for the Army. He's plays in their band there. I guess there's a conductor. And then Rob, who lives out in Ocean City, who is unflappable. You know. Anyway, just ran into him back at the aid station at Roosevelt. Now headed to Gap Creek. I don't know if I can capture this, but all the decorations coming into Gap Creek. And I'm hurting. Hey, a shout out to Heather. I just got out of Gap Creek 1 aid station. Thankfully, Duncan Hollow wasn't the flooded mess that it usually is, or we got routed around that. So it wasn't too bad. It's kind of muddy and steep and rocky, but anyway, had a couple of sliders and tater tots, a little bit of ramen, some cookies. But anyway, Heather took good care of me. Filled up my bottle, did all the things. So A+ for her. I really appreciated it. Okay, it's 6 a.m. Sun's just coming up. About 74 miles in. It has been really slow going here. I was with Tom for a while. He's from Tom from Atlanta. Going up and down over this ridge from just after Kearns Mountain, and none of it's runnable. I guess good that we went through it at night, huh? Oh man, gorgeous, but way behind today. Last few miles before the visitor center aid station were a runnable path. And yes, so I have been running a little bit, trying to make up some time. But I had to stop. Knee is bothering me a little bit. Same thing with anterior tibialis. Also a little bit of a problem. That's the view from the road down to the visitor center at mile 77 or so. It's about 7 a.m. in the morning, Sunday. All right, we're on the second to last climb of the day. More of this rocky, steep stuff. All right, at the top of the second to last climb. So, I'm now on the last leg to the final aid station. Just ticked over 90.3 miles. And a little bit after noon right now on Sunday. Anyway, blessedly, this final climb is this road. After hours and hours spent like scrambling over rocks, overturning rocks, we have this wondrous thing that takes us up this mountain. Here I was dreading this climb, and instead this is sweet here, a nice rest. So mentally I was prepared, maybe resigned to doing another technical ascent. But thank goodness I don't have to. It looks like after about 6 miles of this, we come to the aid station. And then at the aid station, I think it's a road run down to the finish. So in which case, maybe I'll be done sooner than I expected. Looks like I spoke too soon. Nice road went away. Now we're on this, although this isn't bad here. Oh man, I am tired. Ooh. And it's over 30 hours into this thing. No, 32 hours plus into this right now. So I spoke too soon. That nice road turned into a goat path. The usual technical ascent winding up on the side of a mountain. Yeah, I better get both hands on the poles. All right, this is the end of a very long day. 35 hours plus for MMT100 2026. And I'm gonna run momentarily here. I nearly missed the finish. It is not the way we came in. It's not the GPX route that I was given. So anyway, backtracked and saw the little yellow markers and this tiny little path in here.
All right, Hunter. Nice job. Welcome back.
Congratulations. You got it done.
133. So I registered for MMT after I did the ring. So MMT's 100 miles, the ring is about 70. And at the time, I didn't know whether it was a good idea. They always say that your motivations for doing 100 need to be pretty strong. I didn't have really strong motivations for doing 100. It wasn't something that was really on my bucket list. But I felt I should try it. And I was mostly convinced by my friend Jamie that, yeah, I should give this a shot. So I did. So going into the race, my original plan had been to run it with my friend Jamie. But in the lead up to MMT, we had some training races that we did together, one of which was Promised Land. And Jamie really smoked me at Promised Land. And that was a day where we both had a good race. I did really well, and so did she. And I felt like when we get to MMT, she's just gonna run away from me. And I could see the situation where we'd be out on the trail and there'd be a difficult decision to be made. And I was, the other part of this is I was reliant upon her support network. She was the one that was bringing pacers. She was the one with the car who was gonna have stuff in it. And I felt like what was gonna happen was I'm gonna have to say, hey, Jamie, you go ahead, and I lose my access to all of that stuff. Or she agrees to stay behind in the solidarity, and I slow her way down. And so I didn't want either of those things to happen, and I felt like my mental game was where it needed to be. I could run this race by myself unsupported, so that's what I did. I basically replanned. I took stuff that I was going to be putting in her car, and I stuck that in all my drop bags instead. So my motivations going into the race, as I said, were not super strong, and my expectations for finishing were probably in the 28 to 30 hour range. And really what ended up happening is that I was making good time going into the nighttime section of the course. Then when that rolled around, because of the number of times I had rolled my ankle and stuff like that, I felt like I really needed to walk the nighttime portions of the course. And for safety reasons, I was afraid it was going to fall. And then when the daytime rolled around, I really didn't get a whole lot faster. I mean, I was running sections, but then there was a lot of technical stuff too, and frankly, the fatigue was getting to me, and I was just going slower and slower. And one thing I was surprised about was that I usually end up running with somebody else. And I did run with a number of people, but everyone, I think, was feeling a little bit of the time pressure at that point and kind of watching the time slip away. And while I was never, super worried about the cutoffs, I was realizing that, hey, I'm getting slower and slower, and maybe I do need to think about cutoff. So there were a couple of funny things that happened during the race, but one of which involves Heather. So I mentioned that Heather was manning some of the aid stations, and some of you guys know her. If you race in the like in the Mid-Atlantic region, Heather does a lot of ultras, and she was working in the aid stations and doing a really fantastic job. But I think it was in Gap Creek, I'm talking to her, and I ask her the question of, hey, what's the cutoff time? And she just looks at me like, Buster, you better not be asking that question, because she was afraid of where my mind was going to go. It's like, maybe I can sit here for longer and just kind of relax and chill for a little bit. She's like, you get out of that chair, Buster. And so I thought it was amusing. It was clearly what she was worried about. I was going to get too comfortable, sit down, and not finish the race. But that's not my personality. If there's one thing I can do is I can grind away at stuff, and that's pretty much what I did for this race.